8 seasons of television, 45 minutes an episode, 24 episodes a season, and I watched that shit in a month. It was deplorable.
Wow.
Like shit like that, like I can just make that disappear. That's like life's work.
Are you okay?
Actually, I'm not okay.
I don't know if this matters, but on my screen you were frozen.
Oh, I'm frozen. Okay.
Yeah. I don't.
Is that
going
to be distracting? Because you're not frozen on my end. Okay.
All right, that's fine. I just want to make sure there's no point where I need to.
Maybe
I don't know if there's any visual cue of some kind that I needed to see, but as
I turned my video on and off. Did that make a difference?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're back now.
just give me a sign if I'm frozen again.
Yeah. I'll just raise one hand.
You're like, hey, yeah, it's like the cue for the drummer to like, hey, speed this song up. But it's like, no, Spencer, you're frozen.
Frozen. Camera on off. Yeah. But cool.
Well, yeah, like I was saying, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. This is another episode of the Scoped Exposure podcast. I am very excited to be welcoming Joey from KOYO and TYPECASTE and Soul Blind to the podcast. Thanks for coming on, man.
Not Soul Blind, Soul Provider.
Oh, Soul Provider. Oh, okay.
It's okay. It's totally okay. But the only reason I bring that up is because KOYO toured with Soul Blind.
Oh, okay. That's where I'm kind of confusing it.
That's all good. I promise. Soul Provider is hardly even a band that exists. Period. The end. So
that's fine.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I try my best to make sure I like. It's funny because in my notes I have KOYO and TYPECASTE. I'm like, I'll throw the soul band in there, but I chose the wrong soul band. But
it's okay. But all in the same circle of affiliation. Truth.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I was saying, kind of before we were recording officially, Joanne and I have been talking about doing this for the last little while. But you're a hard person to track down because KOYO has just been hitting the road literally as much as possible. So it'd be like, I'm only home for a few days and this and this. And now we're finally here, like right before the year end kind of finishes up. And I'm really excited to chat with you about the band and how that's kind of been exploding over the last little while. And I feel like this is a long time coming kind of interview for me.
Agreed. And obviously, like, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Like you said, we've been trying to pin this down for quite some time. And like you said, it's just this thing where it's like, I feel like from August when we played our record release shows to now, it's just been, I think I had 2 weekends where I didn't play a show of any kind from August 20th to last weekend, I guess. We played a Fiddlehead last weekend in Mass. So that was it. I've had 2 weekends off where there's been no band stuff of any kind. Otherwise it's been tour, weekends, one-off show, whatever. It's been very busy.
Well, I appreciate you spending your weekend with me in a small way and, still doing something band related, but maybe not singing and jumping around and all that kind of shit. But before we get super into the music chats, Joey, it's tradition here to check a bev here on the show. So it's also tradition for the guests to go first. So tell the folks at home where you're going to be sipping on for the episode.
Got you. So a little low brow. Not that I have particularly high standards, but we got a giant jug of Starbucks iced coffee blonde roast, mellow and soft as they on the label.
Yeah,
it's shot, but it's kind of dope. Like if you need some bullshit, like some terrible coffee in your life, like this is great. And honestly, like just sipping it from the jar is like, kind of degenerate in a good way. It has its perks, it has its pluses. It's by no means great. And I like great coffee. I'm not a man of standards. Like I'm no coffee snob, but I do love trying coffee of all kinds and all qualities. I know this is dumpster fire, but it's awesome. I'm still drinking it anyways.
Yeah, I feel like the explanation is good there. And I feel like there's if you're looking at a S through F tier of like coffee, obviously the third wave stuff is gonna rise above everything else, but there's still some quote unquote bad coffee that still beats out actual like really dumpster fire coffee, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So you can I've had plenty of people come on the show and check Dunkin's and they're just like, I just like it because it's really, really sweet, but it's probably, and And I feel like I can make this claim and not catch too much heat because like we don't have Dunkins up here in Canada, but it's like probably in the C to D kind of category as far as coffee goes in the overall coffee sphere. But
yeah, I'd say so. That's pretty fair. I'd
Yeah.
say C to even like frankly a good Dunkin' cold brew when you have the ideal batch. It can scratch B territory.
oh, okay.
Like sometimes that
Okay.
shit just hits. Sometimes it's fucking awesome. Honestly, sometimes
Yeah.
it's dope.
Yeah, I do think that sometimes any colder drinks can usually like nuzzle into their higher territory because like I feel like you kind of notice when it's like off when it's hot coffee. If you know what I mean.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So great choice. I'm also a big fan of just getting a giant jug of fill in the blank and then just being a degenerate and drinking it from that. My wife
Drinking
does
more than you probably should.
Yeah.
You know.
my wife really doesn't like orange juice, so sometimes I'll just buy the big thing of orange juice and I'm just like, I live on my own. I'm a grown-ass adult. I'm just gonna drink this straight from the thing. So,
Yeah, just send that shit back. That's what's good.
Absolutely. I'm not drinking orange juice for my bev check of the show, but any of the visual listeners or watchers of the show may notice a change in the background. And that's solely because like I am a big liquid death head and got a ungodly amount of liquid death that's literally just towering all around me. So
it's impressive.
Yes,
it's a beautiful sight. Honestly,
I haven't talked about the podcast yet, and maybe there's an episode where I kind of break it down. But essentially, I got a Skidsworth. So that's like 146-ish cases, and then times that by 12 per case. So like my closet is full. It's just a madness over here. So
that's crazy. Fucking awesome.
So
obviously.
Making sure I just have a giant case here that's open. So I'm gonna see how many I get through on an episode. I'm not gonna try and overdo it because I don't want to have to edit out the times where I'm like, Joy, I know we've been going for a long time, but I really got to use the bathroom. But
yeah. Just do yourself in like that. But.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, cheers to you, bud. Really excited to do this episode.
Thank you for having me on.
Of course. It's funny. It's like you're drinking the thing that dehydrates you, and I'm drinking the stuff that hydrates you. So there's a nice balance going on here.
Yeah, we're gonna end off on two totally different ends of the spectrum once this is over. I'm gonna desperately need water.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll have to message Styx and see if I can get a little KOYO care package sent your way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, please God, I'm gonna need it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna need it real bad.
So Joey, normally any new podcast guest that I have here on the show that like I know that people are listening to other podcasts, so there might have been people that have listened to more episodes from you, or but I do think that maybe there's some people that only know about like the Scoped Exposure podcast and they only hear people's origin stories through us. So give your like very short like explanation of like how you found out about like hardcore music, DIY music, heavy music, however you want to spin that, and you can make that as extensive or as short as you want to. So just take us back in time and tell us some of those like really formative moments for you.
For sure. So Cliff Notey version of this, because I definitely have delved into this in other mediums very extensively, arguably too extensively. So I want to say around age like 11, 12 was when I kind of got interested in music. I definitely grew up in a musical household where like various like music of all kinds was playing all the time. And I was definitely like passively consuming it, but I didn't rep liking music until I was like 11 or 12 years old. But a lot of like, Billy Joel and, a lot of like new wave in the house and like a lot of classic rock, all these various things are just playing around me as a kid. I'm very much a rock and roll, hard rock, classic rock kid at like 11, 12. And I go into my first year in middle school. And for me, just my public school district, for whatever reason, did elementary school, kindergarten to sixth grade, middle school, 7th to 9th, but your high school transcript started in 9th. And then my high school was only grades 10 to 12. I think it was basically like a population thing. Very weird. But I started middle school in 7th grade, and I believe it was either my first in like a movie cinematic way. I remember it as first, but at the very least, it was my first week of middle school. I met my friend Harold, who plays in Hangman and plays in KOYO with me and sings in Soul Provider. And I met him by chance in like one of the practice rooms in the music wing of my middle school because he was playing guitar. And I pretty much instantly was like, yo, we need to be friends. I don't know who you are, but like me and my other friend want to start a band. We're into music, this and that. And just off like that common interest, like I instantly like flocked right to him. And within a good month, I'd say tops, Harold and I became very close friends. He's, one of my, if not, I'd say he's my best friend, like that's like my fucking, he is like up there in my life. And him and I proceeded to spend the next month pretty much hanging out nonstop. And my other, also another person I'd tout as my best friend, Spanos, who plays bass in KOYO. The two of them and Harold, him and I, rather, the three of us were like inseparable. And we started up this band, our first band ever. And Harold's older sister was very much into like the 2000s emo and post-hardcore of the time. Like she was going to see Taking Back Sunday when they were coming up. And, she loved Thursday and Hawthorne Heights and all that stuff. So she would basically pass CDs on to Harold and expose Harold to all that music. And he was then my first introduction to like alternative music. So he showed me in Spanos Taking Back Sunday and Brand New and all these various bands in that world. And then at the same time, via MySpace, we were kind of getting into some more metalcore stuff at the time, stuff like The Devil Wears Prada, Chiodos, Friday Day to Remember, like all that was kind of the time, like think like fall 2008 era. So kind of like getting my feet wet with like a mix of like emo and like pop punkish type stuff and like some metalcore. And even inadvertently, like I bring this up every time just because it is so funny to look back on. But I think I've mentioned this in almost every podcast, but via MySpace, via the drummer of me, Harold, and Spanos' first band's older sister's boyfriend, through his MySpace, on all of our MySpace like homepage playlists were Vendetta by Irate and Goon Squad by Everybody Gets Hurt. And that's not me being like, oh, look at me at age 12, like I fucking love hardcore. Like it wasn't like that. I didn't know what the fuck hardcore was as a music genre, but a very specific style and niche of hardcore randomly came across our desk at that age. And we all thought the songs were so fucking ridiculous and crazy. Like Vendetta as a song, like I kind of, Ace framed it this way when I did his podcast, but like to us at the time, it was like the fucking South Park of music. It was like the most extreme, ridiculous, over the top thing I'd ever heard. Like, I don't know how much I liked it or didn't like it, but like, it was like so crazy to me. Like it made me laugh and like it. So that was like in our MySpace rotation. So those two songs, a bunch of random like metalcore, a bunch of random emo stuff. And that's more or less my like middle school era, just like liking a weird eclectic mix of like post-hardcore emo shit and like pop punk.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? Good.
No, it's very it seems to be a common theme that people seem to discover underground or like that style of music being having their bias of how crazy music can get with like different artists or different releases. And that could be anything from like someone like stumbling upon like a Slipknot video on YouTube, or like being shown like the Korn like ba-bam, like all that kind of shit. Like it kind of like opens your mind a little bit more, and then goes and goes and goes. And I think as you get like further down the rabbit hole, then it's not that you don't become surprised when you hear stuff. It's just like, I've heard this, style of hardcore, style of metalcore, or, whatever before. But when you do get surprised, it's like almost like that much sweeter because it doesn't happen every single day. Because when you're a kid and online, you're just going through the rabbit hole and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know any of this existed. It's all new.
Yeah, 100%. No, totally. And even stuff like an example, like Suicide Silence was huge at that time. And I definitely with Harold and like my friends, I was listening to Suicide Silence all the time, but I don't even think I liked it that much at that point in my life.
Right.
It was just so crazy as a band that like I like couldn't fucking believe it. Like I like the music did not like mentally click with me. And frankly, it clicks with me more now at fucking 25 than it did when I was 12. But at the time, I was like, this is just some of the craziest shit I've ever heard. So I think it's fucking dope, I guess, you know? But like, it like, I didn't know what was fucking dope about like, I don't know how fucking music hits. Like, I hadn't even been to shows or anything. Like, like music hits a certain way live, like sounds a certain way live, makes you feel a certain way live. Like, I didn't know that then. So at the time, like, as funny as it is to say, like, I don't know what a fucking like crazy mosh part hitting live feels like. So it's like that part of it meant nothing to me. I was like, this is just fucking crazy music. And like half of this sounds like white noise, but I think it's dope just because it's extreme, you know, or by contrast of what I knew. Yeah. But honestly, early Suicide Silence is pretty extreme music. It's fucked up shit. It's dope.
Yeah. I remember seeing, I think the first song I heard from them was Unanswered. And I was just like, the fuck is going on? Like the guitars are crazy. The double kicks, like just like uncomfortable or like I can't comprehend like how fast that is happening. I think, dude, the primer for me for that was finding out like bands like As Lay Dying, and that I think it's just like this not the standard, but just like the bar just gets set higher and higher and higher. And it's so weird now to see all these new bands coming up, and they have like those really old influences, but also like newer influences, and they're like writing stuff that I'm like blown away by at the same time, that they're like 18 years old and writing the hardest riffs ever. So it's
a crazy space for that shit right now, for real.
Absolutely. So I appreciate you kind of breaking down some of the origin of linking up with some of the musicians that you're playing with, as well as some of the, you know, the trickling or the seed planting of a lot of the early emo or pop punk stuff. So you know, I definitely want to chat about KOYO and Typecast kind of primarily on this podcast. And it's kind of interesting because when I was doing prep and research, KOYO, like Typecast was a band for a while yet, but Typecast and KOYO both had releases, like I'll call it during lockdown week. Like it was kind of that second week of March. Like I think there was maybe only 2 days off. So I think a lot of those, you know, I feel like that was a very shorthand of the stick that you and a lot of other bands who were putting out releases at that time. Because I think I saw a lot of when people were doing their recaps of 2020, like KOYO's, like your guys' first EP, like was coming around, and I was like, I've seen that before, but I don't think I've given it like a proper listen. And I would go back, I'm like, oh yeah, it was right during March and all that stuff was happening. And now it feels like the new EP that you guys have done has just like everyone's kind of caught up, and it's like sparked this new thing. And like it was funny, like there was 3 posts in a row from your guys' account where it's like, we got a lot going on in 2022, and I go to the next post, there's a lot happening in 2022, like with the like playing LDB Fest and going on tour with Knock Loose and KlubeCon. So you know, there's a lot to unpack there. But tell me about like
for sure
the maybe just like putting out that debut EP and then all of the shit that's happening kind of first happening. Like, did that kind of mess with your head as far as like, you know, starting this side project and then the wind gets immediately, you know, pulled from the sails? I'm just kind of curious on what was going through your mind during that time and how you reflect on that now that the band is actually, you know, killing it, in my opinion.
For sure. And thank you. I appreciate that as a sentiment. So at the time we put out that first EP, Painting Words into Lines, I think so. Typecast was on tour with Sanction on that last full US they did before everything shut down. Yeah. And I think we
Dying
dropped
Wish,
it like,
I think.
Yes, Dying Wish was on a leg of it. Sea Space Cowboy played the whole thing. Bamakara played the whole thing. There were a couple other legs. Crow Killer was on a leg of it. And there's at least one band I'm missing. Unfortunately, I'm getting my wires crossed. But there was at least one more leg band. I think there were what ended up being 3 days left of that tour before we had to go home prematurely. March 14th, the classic day, all tours ended. I was pretty quickly, obviously, like blown away by people's interest in it, because the band started solely as like a attempt to cycle back with like all these like friendships I kind of previously mentioned, whether it be Harold, whether it be Spanos, my friend Morazzo, who also plays guitar in the band, TJ, who's in the band, and Sal. All of us have played fragmentally and toured together fragmentally, I guess, in like other bands. Right. So it'll be like 2 of us here, 2 of us there. I went on and I TM'd and did merch for Vane for pretty much the entire Arizona album cycle, and I was touring with them on and off before that for fun. So like we were all off doing other shit, whether it be Hangman, Reign of Salvation, Adrenaline, at that point Sal was playing drums, Space Cowboy.
Right.
So we started KOYO as an effort to be like, yo, all we do when we're all home from tour is hang out, because we're all best friends. So it's about time that we have a fucking band together, especially me, Spanos, Harold, Morazzo, who were all doing that together when we were 12, 13, 14 years old. We all grow up, start going to shows, going to hardcore shows together and stuff. Like it felt weird that we didn't have a band together.
Right.
So we grind that out, record it throughout 2019, play 1 show without music, start of 2020, leave for tour, drop the EP on tour. And there's this moment of like, oh shit, people like this, like more than I thought they would. It got some, buzz on the social media sphere or whatever, like enough where I like frankly noticed it was like more than anything else I'd ever done, honestly, like with no discredit to any other projects or efforts or whatever, but like the amount of people posting about it and tagging about it, I was like, this is kind of crazy. So instantly, the way I've always been a grinder, I've always believed in fucking touring and being the band that gets out there and does the fucking thing, even if it fucking ruins your life. Instantly gears are turning in my head. I was like, well, we should do weekends. We should, maybe take, at the time, Space Cowboy was talking about a tour that never happened, what was going to be like an album release tour. They already, while we were on that tour, were like, yo, we want KOYO to play the whole thing, like when it does happen. And I remember getting into kind of an argument in the group chat about how it's like, yo, we should just take this 1 tour and see what happens. Like, let's not, like, we should still be a part-time band and not be a touring band, but it'd be fun. Let's do a full US together. We get to travel. And we kind of had like a little blowout fight in the group chat about it, where we're like, yo, that's not what this band is. This band is a part-time fun thing, maybe a weekend here, a weekend there. We're not fucking touring. And then about 2 days after that argument happened, the world shut down, and cue people sitting with the record for some time. And honestly, in hindsight, like I think it was like, in a fucked up way, it was a godsend for the band, because that EP dropped, the world shut down, no one knew what was going to happen. Everyone was under this presumed assumption that 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, whatever, shows will come back. And people were just binge listening to the record, expecting to see the band soon.
Yeah.
Like, in one sense, people had nothing to do because they were locked inside. So they're like, oh, I'll just listen to new music. But I think there was this, unfortunately for them, expectation that we would come out of this way quicker than we did. Shows would come back and KOYO would be a band you could see. But that was not the case. Obviously, we didn't play another show for a year and about 6 months. That's how long it took for us to actually play.
Right.
So, but in a weird way, I think it helped the band catch a little quicker, because like people just got obsessed, kind of like, whether they were literally obsessed or not. That's what it looked like at a streaming level, is people just endlessly rotated the record. And I think it really helped us get rolling. And honestly, like, who knows if it would have went that way if we could play shows, or if we could have came out the gate being a band. Like, people's attention spans are fickle. Like, I love the music we write. I believe it's special and has staying power, but like, even great shit that has staying power, comes and goes pretty quickly sometimes. So
totally. Yeah. And I think it was honestly like, and I think it played with a couple of different bands, but it's like such a supply and demand thing. Like, we had a moment where there was a lot of unknowns. So I think you're right that some people were almost using that as the excuse to actually go and look for new music, because like I still meet people to this day who are like, they'll discover a band or a record a year after or 2 years after it's done. And that could be for a number of reasons, whether it's like their job, their their lifestyle, maybe they have kids in the mix, or maybe they're just on tour so
Yeah.
much that they don't have time to just be in a space to like sit down and listen to a record. Like I
have
found
a thoughtful listen, you know.
absolutely. So I think it's interesting for that to come out right during that week, and then like there was such like an anticipation that just builds and builds and builds, and not like you guys were like squeezing the lemon, but it is interesting to just like everything happens for a reason, right? It's like you guys are arguing like, oh, we should try and do this, and then like it might have actually been a financial like failure to try and put all the stuff into it, and then like it doesn't happen because of things outside of your control. So I think that's really interesting. Let's maybe go a bit deeper into that, because I think that is like a thing where I think being intentional about like what your band is going to do like out the gate is important, whether it's like, hey, this is a side thing. I only want to play like
mission statement type thing.
Totally. Or like, there's some bands, because I've found myself in that situation now with the band that I play in, where it's like I only kind of want to do something that's a little bit more, on a local level, maybe do something kind of over the weekend, more so because I would be filming bands all the time. And then it happens where the market or the hardcore community, it like embraces something and gets obsessed with it. And you're like, oh shit, do I need to kind of like shift how things go? So like, how did you guys kind of come to some kind of level of conclusion of like, maybe this isn't the origin of what we wanted in this band, but at least like shifting it and changing the overall mission statement to actually like give it a shot, and clearly it's working. But I'm kind of curious how you guys adjusted things on the back end.
Well, there are definitely a couple of factors. Oops, sorry, I should try to knock something out of place.
No,
there were a couple of factors. And like I said, like I've always been of the grinder mindset, like Typecast, like from the jump, like we were like, we're a touring band. We will figure out how to, and we'll figure out who can do it and who will take shows for us. But like, if this band exists, we're going to tour. And we did many, 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 many tours in a finite amount of time. From the beginning of 2018 to the shutdown, we did like 3 full US tours, like 3 like 2-week tours out to like Texas and Florida, like something like 2 or 3 more weekends on top of that. We toured like psychos. So that's always been my like mentality, but I know that's not right for every project or every person. So KOYO, I think the early inklings of like the game plan shifting a little bit was, well, we were in quarantine, like, or even honestly, like for me, kind of like in real time with like the initial pandemic impact / like even leading up to it a little bit. There were a couple of people I'd show the Painting Words masters to, like just friends and stuff, to see what they thought of it. And like the sentiment was a lot of like, yo, like this could be something. What, I don't know, but like you shouldn't discard this. Like it's not that's kind of how people would frame it. And like I don't necessarily see it that way. Not every project needs to be a full-time thing, but like, people like an example, like my friend Anthony, who sings for Vane, like I remember showing him after we got back from Europe with Every Time I Die in the car, and he was like, yo, dude, like this shit might pop. Like, but he was basically like, don't be stupid. Like if this takes, like, like do what you should do whatever you want, but like if you want it, like get after it,
Right.
And I showed it to James Aloisio, who actually now manages and works for the band, and among many others, but he's also a lifetime friend of mine. I've literally known him since I was 12.
Yeah. Shout out to James.
and
He was
works-
episode
James
2 of season 2 of the podcast.
That's sick. That's
Yeah.
dope shit.
Yeah.
I think I actually listened to that episode, but
Yeah.
he's a great friend, like lifelong friend, has been through it day one. And he was another person that was like, yo, like, this is crazy. Like, you should not like do nothing with this. You shouldn't be a part-time band. You should tour if you ever have the opportunity. And there were a couple other people here and there that like showed like real genuine faith in the project, and spoke out and like, were like, yo, you should, if you ever have the chance, run it for, whether there's opportunity on the table there or not, like people should hear this. And then fast forward to kind of quarantine a little bit. I think by like May, we had all had so much of our life's paths respectively altered that I think it kind of put some needed perspective together where it's like, yo, like if things ever come back, like we're not that old, you know, we're just at most scratching our mid 20s. Like we should make the time if there's ever a chance. Like after everything that's happened, after things have gotten this fucked up, if there's a tangible chance to tour, get out there, do the thing, be a band, like if the water's warm, let's fucking swim, you know, like, like what is a couple years of our lives? Like life is fucking long. We can get it back. You can get your career back on track, this or that. Like if the chance is there, let's take it. And thankfully things have seemed to kind of pan out more in that way where like the water's been warm and thus we've been swimming, you know, we're figuratively speaking. But I think the pandemic definitely altered perspective a lot. It gave perspective where it's like, yo, like doing something like being in a band, like in the first place, like by your own force and admission and interest is such a special opportunity to fucking travel and tour and play and put yourself out there. If people want it, in addition to that, if it is naturally going whatever way it goes, like with that accounted for and whatever that may be, like that's in itself special at best, usually for most people, once in a lifetime thing. Like follow that, take that, whatever it is, like you'll be happy you had that life's experience. And, you know, like for me, an example, I was of the mindset that Typecast would tour a couple, maybe another year or so, and then presumably call it, because that's not a career band. You know, we were like, we love the band. I love Typecast, but like, that's like, you know, it's a hardcore band. It's for fun and it's for life experience and touring and brotherhood and all the things that are fucking good about the entire experience. But like, I thought by the time I was this age, I would just be like career TM and merch guy forever. I didn't think I'd do a band anymore. Like I thought I was like tapped on making music in any way, like aside from like for fun. Like I didn't think I'd be in a position where the roles are now reversed again and I'm fucking fronting a band, let alone touring in one as like my full send life's thing. But you know, everyone is figuring it out more or less, you know, like some of us better than others in our camp, because you know, people are figuring out work and, you know, rent for those who are thankfully out of their fucking parents' house by now, and you know, trying to move their life forward in whatever ways. But you know, it comes with like weirdness and hardship and, you know, shit that there's days where you're just like, what the fuck am I doing, you know? But like all in all, like things are fucking great and we're all fucking thankful and we're making it work, and I'm glad things are going the way they are. You know?
Yeah. And nothing, you know, like I'm sure having the support of like people wanting to put out your record on like on vinyl, whether that's Triple E or like people wanting to work with you, whether that's James, like I think that helps actually put the necessary fuel in the tank for a band like you guys to actually go out and tour. Cause there's definitely been examples of bands that have just gone out and tour and they know what they have is good, even if like so many people at every single turn is like telling them no or doing that. Like, and then all you need is like one yes from like a label or from a certain thing. And then that takes you to that next level. But you know, like we're both agreeing here, like there's different people in different stages of their lives that have it set up to be that way. But I really think that it's interesting how the band started in such like this is just it's almost like the band was an excuse to get together with your friends and write music. And then it was like, oh, there's enough people that really vibe with us. Like maybe there is something that we can kind of change. And, you know, on the total flip side of it, you know, I'm sure that there's bands that start that are like Typecast, where it's like, we're going to tour all the time, but then, you know, not understanding the lifespan of bands where it's like, you know, maybe after playing, you know, a big festival or like a killer release show, and then nothing really is coming afterwards. It's like, you know, knowing when to kind of like fade away or kind of like wrap it up versus like you see the bands that are just going on like year 8 to 11. It's like maybe it's time for something new.
Straight up, like sometimes it's just time to fucking hang it up. And especially hardcore music in essence is such a finite thing. It's such a reflection of like a moment or a fucking feeling or a fraction of time in a person's life, especially like not only like sonically and like what music might be literally being made, but like what the fucking singer's saying, what the fucking songs are about. Like I think the finite nature of it is one of the fucking coolest parts about it. And it's very easy to get lost in the sauce of doing something so fucking cool and special like touring, which don't get me wrong, like if anyone has the opportunity should to and can, they should, because it's life altering fucking very fucking special shit. But you know, it's very easy to get lost in that and get lost in the grind of it and forget that like there's a fucking whole society that exists that you can absolutely assimilate to, a better person with all that life experience and fucking knowledge and lessons from hardcore on your side. You can be a functioning, better member of society. Like you're not just people get like lost in the life of just being fucking tour guy and being band guy. And like, yo, like no diss to that. That's what I want to do with my life, obviously. But like there's a whole world that doesn't give a fuck about anything you're doing in the lane of music or touring or whatever. Like there's a world you can go out and impact and, you know, take all the fucking dope shit you learn from doing all that and apply it to the fucking real world. Like I don't know. There's just more place to function in society than I think some people realize when you're deep in the, I just want to tour 24/7, 365. Right. Like live this fucking secret life away from the world that seems so fucking hard to fit into type thing, you know? Like, yeah, it's a weird thing that I think only people who tour or have stopped touring or tour on and off can like truly get, you know what I mean? It's like a weird fucking thing.
Yeah. This is interesting thing that you bring up, because you know, my boss, who's a bit of an older hardcore head, but he talks a lot about the, you know, people in the scene that do that maybe only want to like just put out a record. Like it's that instant, like not instant, but it's just like that cycle of like put out a dope project and people freak out about it and buy records, and then you go on tour and it's like that cycle, and they only want to stay in that cycle versus taking those lessons and taking that into, you know, starting your own business, starting to do something in your community. And I think I prefer that mindset of being able to like, you know, still do cool band stuff and do that well, but not play small and be limited to like the things that are going on, you know, because I think, you know, it's that classic thing where it's like, in the hardcore world, you know, these things in the rest of the world don't matter. It's like, well, no, those worlds are still connected. You know, the venues, you know,
directly connected. In fact, more than people seem to realize sometimes.
Yeah, like the venue that your hardcore band might be playing might do like a country night like the next night, or not even something music related. Like it's not like we have this, you know, I think it's a very punk kind of mindset of just like, you know, the things aren't connected. And I think being a little bit more aware that, you know, the lessons that people learn in punk and hardcore are like almost like game changing, in my opinion, when it comes to like things that you can do in your job or your personal life, or things you can do for your community. And I think that really matters to be able to do that for sure.
For sure. And yo, like for some people, like to have all that life experience and not see the natural end of whatever their respective hustle is, because things come to natural ends all the time. Like it's almost like you're cheating yourself, because you are potentially an asset to the world around you. Like you have a leg up, you have all the knowledge in the world that's required to like do something fucking dope on top of all the insane shit you've already done with your life, all the special shit you've done with your life. But, you know, like I said, some people are just lost in the grind. They want to fucking be the fucking band guy or the industry guy or the fucking, you know, the working tour guy for their entire lives. And no diss if that's you. That very well could be me, frankly. Like that's I don't count that out of my fucking life's timeline, but it's just something interesting that I've noticed, I guess, in the greater sphere of things. It's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any shame in like maybe spending like your 20s as like doing hardcore in like however that looks to you, whether that's playing in bands, booking a fest, traveling around the world, filming stuff. But I think, you know, one of the things you said earlier on is like life is long, and like if you're spending, you know, if you're having a good time in your 20s, it doesn't mean like the hardcore stuff is over at 30, but it might mean that like it looks a little bit different, and you can take the same energy you're putting into your band into the other aspects of your life as well.
For sure. Definitely. And that's the thing. I think it's just a matter of like assessment and being self-aware and potentially making sure that like whatever wonderful fucking thing you're doing with your life now doesn't get shot and spoiled because you can't let go.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking in the context of KOYO, we are not even remotely close to the natural end of that band. Obviously, things just got started, both
Right.
literally speaking and like figuratively speaking. But you know, it's like 5 years from now, I don't want to be the fucking guy that's like, you know, harping on I have to, it's a fucking hill to die on to put out a new record, you know, like vested attendance is on the fucking decline when it comes to people seeing your band. Like, who wants that for their life? You know, like
right.
I can't predict the future in any fucking way. Like shit could fucking end tomorrow or go on for 10 years for all I know. But like, as long as it's fun and feels good and it remains authentic and isn't fucking shot, that's all that fucking matters to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's the mindset that I hope other people listening to this podcast have when it comes to their projects. Speaking of things as far as just getting started. So like you guys, you know, have really hit it hard with a lot of stuff in 2021. You know, you brought up James, friend of the show. Shout out Ends of Sanity, badass band. I actually, you know, as far as the time of recording this, you know, we just a few days ago announced the whole like, I'm calling it the Scopies, which is our like annual hardcore award show that we're doing. So we have
I saw some posts about that. Yeah.
So as far as like, you know, because naturally with anything where it's like, I think this is these top whatever are the best in this category, there's going to be people like, I disagree. It's like, well, of course there's a bias, but I did for sure my absolute diligence to like run it by people that I know have a good pulse on current hardcore and things that are going on. So your guys's, you know, Drives Out East EP and Ends of Sanity EP for me made the best EP in that category. So it's funny to see both of those on there. But I bring up James because you know, we talked a little bit on his podcast about his son, and then his son actually made it on the cover of you guys' EP. So I'm curious if there's any behind the scenes or stories when it came to that creative decision.
Oh yeah. So Harold from the band does like all of our art and all the merch, and he's like at the head of like kind of like the creative vision of everything.
Sure.
And we spent a good chunk of like late quarantine, I guess is a good way to phrase it, like the pre-vax, like post previous holiday season era, but like leading up to like, I'll say like January to like March/April of 2021, we spent all that time basically grinding out artwork for Drives Out East, trying to figure out what the right vibe was, what we were trying to say with it visually. And we did multiple drafts of stuff that he was just whipping up from scratch. We took pictures in what is now his apartment when it was empty, trying to catch a vibe. And we just really couldn't settle. Like we couldn't truly land on the right thing. We were just having trouble. And at one point, James suggested to Harold using Carson, like picture Carson. He's like, yo, like this record and the music, it's so makes me feel so nostalgic. It makes me feel this, and that, whatever. Like, he's like, I have 100,000 pictures of Carson. I can send you everything I have on my phone. And if you see something you like run it. And we ended up landing on the slide picture and on the back of the insert, Carson pointing, which is actually a pose we shot for some of the apartment pictures we didn't use. I wanted like a picture of someone pointing at the like deadpan at the camera. That was like something I at one point had an idea for the album cover.
Yeah.
So we saw those pictures in there, and then Harold, you know, did his thing and heavily digitally manipulated them. But we thought those really caught the vibe of the record and like kind of like for lack of a better way to put it, kind of like the drama of the record of like what I'm fucking talking about and all these songs. Like there was just something like kind of perfectly dark about like a kid sitting at the bottom of the slide just looking straight up at the fucking sky, like looking at the top of the slide and even past that. Like what we're literally trying to say with that, nothing in particular, but like it is like it matches this fucking visual commentary of just fucking life and how fucking unpredictable and fucking dark and hard it could be and how it felt at that time. And even frankly, how it feels right at this very moment. It's like a little kid's just so fucking innocent and they ain't doing fucking shit wrong, you know, in the world. But I don't know. It just felt like there was something that it felt like a puzzle piece fit, just looking at like Carson looking like all like innocent, just up at this fucking slide. And who the fuck knows what, you know? It felt right. It felt like it linked in with the music very well.
Very serendipitous sounding.
Yes, for sure. There was just so much about that record that's about uncertainty and sadness with uncertainty and fucking life and age and time, and there's just so much of that thematically is there. It just felt like the right fit, even if it literally has nothing to do with the album title, I suppose, you know.
I just love James just going through his phone and like select all like in the Carson folder and just like fire it up.
Dude, it was crazy. There were so many fucking pictures, but those were the ones that ended up dialing in, thankfully. What were you say?
No, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that honestly, I kind of like the back picture even more in a way, the one of him pointing again, just because it matches that pose that I wanted for the initial album art idea. But it's the same shit. He just looks, for lack of a better way to put it, he looks fucked up in that picture. Like he looks like he's saying some evil, crazy shit and just pointing straight at the camera. I was like, that's what I want. That's like spot on.
Yeah. Well, you know, James did tell some stories about Carson as far as, I'll save it for his, people can go check out his podcast. Like he seems to be I feel like a Tasmanian devil-esque kind of kind of kid, like very unpredictable.
Dude, he's so adorable, but he's out of his goddamn mind. He's like running all over the place. When I saw James in North Carolina a couple months ago, I mean, I've seen him a couple times since then too, but Carson had like this toy car he was playing with. And he's like just, playing with it on various things like guardrails and chairs.
As you do.
And he randomly just takes it and goes, bye-bye, and throws it over a fence. And it like fell down like a long, like he's not getting that toy back. And then he got all upset about it, but it's like, you just randomly threw it over a fence.
Like, what did you expect was going to happen?
It's gone. It's gone forever.
That's so funny.
He's crazy.
Yeah. Hopefully that wasn't his favorite car toy. So another thing that was interesting about, that release is I saw the giant KOYO like emo's back flag that you guys were kind of taking photos of, and that incorporated into the music video as well. How did it get to Rome?
What do you mean by that?
So I was on your guys. So I saw that you guys were going around.
Okay, now I know. I wasn't sure if that was like an expression that I was with, or you're being literal.
Oh no, that's not a saying. That's like literally how did it get in Rome, the country?
I was gonna say, my parents went to Italy and took one with them. And
okay.
Yeah. I was like, get to Rome. That's an interesting expression. Never heard that before. But it was literally just my parents went on a trip when things were a little better COVID wise. It was kind of that lull of like, yes, some people are getting sick, but there was that initial first big post-vax drop off.
Sure.
So they went to Italy last summer. I guess it was like the end of August or early September, and they literally just took pictures and were just like putting it up everywhere, wherever they wanted. Like, they love it. They're super. My parents in general are very supportive people and like have just been, big for me, Harold, Spanos, Marazzo, like all of us growing up. Like they were just always about whatever band stuff, music stuff we were doing. Very supportive. So, in a classic style, there they are in Italy on their fucking vacation. They're ready for tour. I appreciate it endlessly.
I was confused. I was like, were you guys selling them and it was like shipping out, or like do you just have all these Italian fans who are like, we love KOYO?
Yeah.
And it's just
if there's ever most Euro tours, I feel like at least in terms of hardcore, skip Italy. If I can go to fucking play Italy, like count me in, I'm there in a heartbeat.
It's on the video, so people can hold it against you now. You're like, said
straight up. If there's an opportunity, the answer is yes. The answer is absolutely yes. I'm trying to go back. Been to Europe like 3 times since I started touring, and not even once have I passed through Italy for but a moment. So it's just wrong.
Yeah. Well, that's I love coming up with some ideas for bands on this podcast, and then if you guys announce your first Italian show or Italy show or whatever it is, then I can just clip this part of the podcast and be like, boom, we called it.
Call that shit. Straight up.
Speaking of Italy, I can use this as a perfect segue. I saw you guys like did a shirt with like it's like 1-800 drives out east like pizza kind of like shirt. I wasn't sure if that was inspired by like a local za place in your like I was trying to check if there was some kind of connection to a like a pizza, like it was a collab shirt, but it seemed like it was just an original design. I was curious if there was any inspiration.
Harold definitely ripped it from a famous pizza place because he is a pizza head. Okay. I love pizza, but I am not studied on pizza at all. I don't know shit about pizza at a grand scale. Like I can tell the difference between dope pizza and shit pizza. You know, like I'm from New York. It's an inevitable thing you're subjected to through your life. It's various pizza, good and bad. But I'm not studied like he is. I wish I knew off the cuff what it was an actual rip of, like what place, because it is, I'm almost certain a rip. But I just forget things all the time. And this is one of those moments like, I don't remember, unfortunately.
But
it definitely is a rip.
You should give him a text or a call and see if he, if he picks up.
I will ask him right now. Also, I'm standing because my headphones are dying, so I'm just plugging them in.
Oh,
but I will text him right now and see if I can get the answer before we're
just say urgent band problem, and then he'll be like, what the fuck's going on? You're like, yo, what's that pizza place?
The extremely urgent thing. Question. All right, I'm gonna type this up now. Harold, what was the pizza shirt a rip of? Like what shop?
Yes.
And we'll see what he says.
Okay.
I'm sure he'll get back to me quickly.
Yeah,
he is sick right now, but not with COVID.
Okay.
As funny as that is to say, he just has a terrible sinus infection. And he's been sick for like 6 days.
Oh,
but
damn.
multiple time through COVID negative somehow, as he lives in Brooklyn and all of Brooklyn is essentially COVID positive right now. So, he just got sick. He got normal sick.
Yeah. Like we won't go down that rabbit hole. Let's stay on the pizza shirt chats.
Yes.
You were mentioning how he's a big pizza head and you like pizza.
I love pizza even, and of all kinds. Yeah, I love pizza for sure.
What's is KOYO a pineapple on pizza band?
So I like it in general.
Okay.
It's not a common thing in New York. Like generally speaking, it's definitely not something you see. Like you walk into like a any pizza place in New York, you don't usually see pineapple pizza.
Sure. Like you would get like a weird kind of stink eye if you asked like, oh, do you got any pineapples around? And they'd be like,
yeah, I think in most shops, they kind of just be like, really want that? But
yeah,
I like it personally. And I especially, hey, I try and keep it real as often as I can in just about every aspect in life. I was vegan for a couple of years. I sold out. Frankly, just is what it is. Wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But
broke veg, as they say.
Yep. I broke. But in my time where I was, when I was getting vegan pizza all the time, pineapple was like the illest possible thing I could throw on there. Like pineapple, barbecue, and buffalo, like on like a vegan pizza was just like the ultimate combination of like sweet shit.
Yeah.
And that made me like it. So once I broke and started eating normal pizza again, like especially like I feel like out of New York, like in odds and ends places, like if I go to like, I don't know, like a fucking Mellow Mushroom, an example, in like North Carolina, like a random pizza chain, like that stuff doesn't hold a candle to what's in New York or even the greater like NYC metro area.
Right.
But that's the type of pizza where it's like, I don't even like look at it. Like I don't even compare the two because they're not even remotely the same thing. So that's the type of place where I'd be like, yeah, throw a whole fucking can of pineapples on my pizza. Like give me some sweet sauce. Like, fuck it. Let's run it.
Right.
It's like a different beast for that stuff.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Comparatively.
You should, like that's kind of the whole thing where if you're in a certain part of the world that's known for a thing, like you should respect the thing versus trying to like, I'm a big pineapple fan, but I feel like if I was in New York, I wouldn't be like trying to force pineapple on any pizza. I'd probably just get a badass like marinara or something like that.
Yeah.
That's like,
and that's the thing. Like there's just so much good stuff that would like come to mind before your brain even goes to, oh, let's get pineapple. It's like you walk into like more or less any like New York shop and like beyond like the actual fucking pizza that you'd want, like if you want something weird, like specialty slices are also a big thing here, where it's like the buffalo slice will probably cop your attention before you'd even be like, let me get pineapple.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
like
okay,
there's like
got you.
things of that sort. Like an example, like you can, it's like before you think, let me get pineapple on my pizza, you'd probably see like a crazy like vodka sauce square slice that would make you go, I want that first, you know? Like your brain doesn't even get to talking about pineapple because you just see something crazy.
Yeah,
there's completely distracts you.
There's too many things that are like too enticing on that front, but yeah,
exactly. Two things that are niche and unique to the area that just like you just get like that Men in Black like brain zap. Whatever you were thinking of, whatever your thing is, wherever you're from, like everything that's in front of you will completely draw your attention.
Yeah, in every New York pizzeria, there's just a guy in like a black suit, just with a little like, special pen, just click.
Get your pineapple. Fuck that. Yeah, like, you want this instead.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, the settings are only to forget what pizza flavoring you want, nothing else.
Yeah. You remember everything else about your life, good, bad, whatever. That's all staying, but pizza.
Yeah.
Gone. Yeah. Gone from the brain.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. Cleaning the slate, as they say.
Yes. Yeah. Truly.
So, so you guys, again, first EP, you know, finally getting to play it. Second EP is out in the works. Is what's kind of like the move into 2022 when it comes to new music and like what you guys are planning for the year ahead? Because like clearly there's a lot of touring that's coming up, but obviously. To do all that touring, you probably want some fresh tunes under the mix. So anything that you can share for the fans, I'm sure there's like a bunch of things that you can't share. Yeah, so whatever you can is sick.
Yes. So in the lane of Ken's,
were you checking the pizza text?
Yeah, I saw a flash. It was not the pizza text, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, I hope that comes around, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. If I keep seeing flashing, I'll be like, oh, that's probably it.
Yeah.
But so in the lane of new stuff, we're gonna be cutting a couple singles. We were actually supposed to be in the studio right now, but we had to postpone because John Markson, who did like the new Soulblind stuff and the recent, or a good chunk, I think he did Cheer, pretty much all the more recent Drug Church stuff, among other things. He also played in Such Gold. He's going to be tracking the new stuff that we're working on. Again, it's just a couple songs. But he had to postpone because he had a family emergency. So we're doing it in January instead. But right now, literally speaking, I was supposed to be at the studio and we're shooting to do a couple new songs. I don't know how many are going to come out the gate, but the goal is get a little new music out before the Knocked Loose tour.
Got you.
And you know, that's for all intents and purposes. Like, I don't think that's super DL. Like I think it's easy to be transparent about. Like if you're down to listen to an hour of this podcast, you can know, yes, KOYO's working on some new music. I'm happy to say it. Beyond that, there's more touring locked in for the year. Obviously things are getting weird and crazy again in various ways. We don't really know up from down right now, but assuming things chill out by like the spring and the fall, like we're more or less booked out for the year, which is cool. And I'm very psyched on that. Like, I'm very appreciative that that's our reality, because that's a privilege and a special thing. Like to say I'm, you know, my year, my 2022 is essentially locked up is a crazy fucking thing. Right. And I'm very psyched on it. But we're going to be doing a lot of touring going into the next year. Obviously we have that Vane tour announced down to FYA, and then we have the Knocked Loose tour. Knocked Loose /movement /Kublai Khan, because, you know, respect to all, it's a large bill, you know.
Yeah, it's a very interesting package, because I think I caught wind of it like maybe a day before it came out through a friend of a friend, but it was like cool to see like a perfect like balance of like heavy bands and then like more like fun, nostalgic, like
more melodic
emo
stuff.
Yeah. So it's like,
for sure,
people can get their ass beat and then go and just grab the mic and flip on their friends for a KOYO set and then get their ass beat again. Like it's
exactly. It's palate cleansers, you know.
Yes.
And we that tour, we got hit up about that. I think like right as we put out Drives Out East. It was around I think it was the same week we dropped Drives Out East. We got hit up about that. So that's been in the chamber for almost a year.
Yeah.
Which is dope.
Yeah.
But that shit was obviously we're very appreciative to be a part of it. And it's cool. I think now more than ever tours like that not only are a great move, but will realistically probably become more normal because like I think it's the most palatable the space has ever been in terms of people being down to see mixed bills. Like the mixed genre show is obviously not a new convention. It's an age old thing.
Right.
But right now, especially, it seems like people are the most down to see various different things on the same bill. And personally speaking, I mean, I think part of what I love about playing in KOYO as a band versus anything else is that in whatever way it does make sense under the same roof as the three other bands on the bill. We obviously sound nothing overtly like Knocked Loose or Kublai Khan, but I think the DNA of what KOYO is palatable to someone who may prefer heavier music, you know, or like be more of like a deathcore kid or like into like a metalcore or whatever. Like I think there's things about our band that cross over to that more than I don't think it's overt. I think it's more of a subconscious thing, but I think just there's things about it that make it work, you know, like we're the odd man out on that bill, arguably in a lot of ways, much like Movements are, I suppose too. But like, I still think you can see KOYO and Kublai Khan back to back and feel like you were at any other show, not
totally
a 1,500 cap room, you know, like it makes sense in a weird way.
Yeah, I think that there was maybe a couple of years kind of before the pandemic where it was like, oh, like certain fests or certain bands would only do mixed fill in the blank. And so, you know, like I know like you guys jumping on LDB for next year is like, you know, I feel like that fest really flew the flag of like being a mixed kind of scenario versus like we're going to only bring out the most hype hardcore and metalcore bands and it's going to be pits all throughout the day. Cause I've been at those festivals and it's like, you get burnt
and there's
out.
Something to be said for that. That's dope.
You know,
true. But you definitely, there's some burnout for sure. It's nice to have a little bit of a palate cleanser. It's nice to have something where like, you don't have to like mentally prepare to fucking, you know, to partake.
Yes.
Like that, because sometimes it's like that. There's just some sets and some bands where like, you know, if you want to watch even remotely close to what's going on, you either need to be a part of what's happening or watch from across the room.
Yes.
And with fests, that burnout, it happens so much quicker.
Yes.
I think for most people, for the average attendee of a fest, you got like 2-3 sets in you where you're like, yo, like these are the ones I'm psyched for. This is what I want to be a part of. And everything else like kind of gets, you know, just glazed over. Even if you're watching it, you're not in it like that. So
yeah, no, that is a good point.
Like, yeah. And bands like us, like, are a good fit for that, where it's like, yo, like you could fucking dance hard for whatever fucking sets you want. And you could still partake in the KOYO set without stressing. Like you could still be up front, sing along, whatever, you know, it's not weird. It's not taxing.
Yes.
Or I would say it shouldn't be taxing at least.
Yeah. It's not like we've had 3 metalcore and then 2 beatdown bands. And then it's like by the band somewhere in the midst of that, someone's going to be like, put it, you know, cause it's their time on the stage and they want like the side to side, front to back, going crazy mosh pit. And people are like, yo, I've been doing that for like the last 4 bands and I'm tired. Yeah. So
straight up.
But I think that's a great point with a band like you guys is like, you can still be up front and vibing and jamming and having a good time. It just might not be as much of like, oh, I know this pit is going to be crazy and I need a breather. So I have to stand in the back. So I think I was watching your guys' Hate 5-6 set and it was funny how like, you're wearing this like hoodie and like you're a larger individual. You're kind of like, and like from Lord of the Rings, you're like kind of towering over people.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
it was good.
And it was funny how he was like, "Oh, you look scary being back there and not coming to the front." And I thought that was a nice flip the switch to encourage.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is, it's like when dealing with our band, at least. It's like a weird reflection on a person. I mean, if you don't know what's good with it or like it, I suppose that's one thing. But hypothetically, say you like KOYO, it's a very strange reflection on you if you're afraid to stand up front, because we are not a hard band. There's nothing to worry about. Your worst case scenario is someone dives on you, and even that's like pretty light, it's like a weird statement about where your head's at, like anxiety wise. You're like, I gotta stand in the back for this KOYO set. It's like, yo, you'll be fine, I swear. you'll be A-okay,
I would put
promise.
money on you being fine during my set versus any other
straight
bands
up
that we're playing with.
I'm down to bet cash, like you'll be chill. Like it'll be
you just like pull out your wallet, like, how much is it gonna take? How
Mhm.
much is it gonna take?
Yeah, straight up. I don't got much, but I'm willing to bet. I might come up here. But yo, it's kind of funny because, like, ironically, as we did all our fall touring, we have the second song we usually play in our set has like a proper breakdown or whatever.
Yeah.
And people always mosh to it, or have been at least. Like, there's been almost no shows we played where people haven't. I think it's because, by contrast, like when we're not playing on a bill with like harder bands, like some people who come to see us are like, oh, this is like the moment of where it's like, just for 1 second, like, I'm gonna fucking do whatever.
Wild out a little bit.
Yeah. So people have kind of been fucking it up to that part, and it makes me look like an idiot, because here I am assuring people that things will be fine, you'll be all right, like, come up front. But there is almost 5 minutes into the set a moment where, like, I suppose my words may mean nothing.
Yeah. And you're like, all right.
The rest of the set
you
is
try
fine.
to rally back everyone, like,
Yeah.
there's no more breakdowns. It's fine.
Yeah, I literally have had to say that, like, at almost every show. I had to be like, all right, we're like at a mosh bar. It's like, come through. Like, the next one's a fucking ballad, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's, but, also cool that people want to do that, because, fuck it. I know what it is. I'm a self-aware individual. I'm very hyper aware of all things genre convention or whatever. Like, the more touring KOYO does, of whether it be support touring or whatever, as I hope that people are still down to fucking go crazy and do whatever they want. But I know at some point, like, people might not be fucking moshing to Song for Anthony Mad Hard anymore. Like, at some point, people will be like, yo, like, I feel weird doing this. So it's like, as long as people want to run it, go nuts, do your fucking thing. You want to knock someone out to KOYO? I'm not going to stop you. That's not my problem. Live your life.
Live your life. Joey, a couple more questions before we start to wrap up here. You guys have played a number of shows kind of from, when it was like socially accepted to and all that kind of stuff to the end of the year. Mm-hmm. What has been I'm not going to do the best and worst. I want you to tell me the most special show you guys played and the weirdest show that you guys played within that time span.
That's doable. Okay. So I'm going to discount the record release shows from this entirely. Okay. Because they're obviously special. They're our first shows, essentially our first shows back. We played one show without music. It'd be a given for me to be like, oh, the record release shows. We got to sell out both Long Island venues where shows happen, like, back to back, like, actually not even 2 nights in a row, a night, a day off, and a night. And we sold out both shows. Like, it was like shit I couldn't even fucking imagine a year ago. So, like, those are obviously special for obvious reasons. But I think the Brooklyn No Pressure show, I want to say that was probably the most special, where it felt like this is kind of crazy, because it was like a melting pot of like people, whether it be hardcore kids and friends and people we know, or like kids who have more of a pop punk background and found out about our band via No Pressure / Story So Far, Pipeline, or whatever. Like, it was a moment where it was like, it felt like everyone who was about seeing KOYO in that room knew what was good, and it just had a very fucking special vibe to it. A lot of people diving, the energy was right. The No Pressure set that night was fucking amazing. And also, in addition to that, I'll give the B spot to the Boston show that happened the prior night of that No Pressure weekend, because all the things I just said accounted for. It was that, but also, like, it was fucking all of Vane and Fleshwater there, and Mark from Fuming Mouth, and Dylan from Typecast. Like, all my friends from Massachusetts who I've spent so much fucking time and I'm so close with, they were all there and singing along and up front. And it just, it was very special to me, because the last 5+ years of my life have been defined by the roles of that being reversed, where it's like,
right,
I'm
being
on
the other side of the coin.
I'm the one slinging merch.
Yeah.
So it was very special to have them be up front, repping, singing along, because they didn't have to do that. Right. Like, it meant a lot to me. Mm-hmm. And I know it comes from genuine interest in actually liking the music or whatever, but like, it was just a special little high that night that I think the show might not have been as crazy as the Brooklyn show the next day, but it was as meaningful in different ways. And then the most weird show, frankly, like honestly, we've had this privilege of like almost every show we've played. There really have been no like bad shows. Like almost every show we've played, there's been at least a couple.
Well, weird doesn't need to be bad, but if it's like maybe the sound guy was being a little kooky or like anything like that comes to mind, I'm just kind of curious about.
I think the weirdest the weirdest one was on the Soulblind tour. We played South Carolina, and South Carolina is just a weird market in general. Like I feel like it's rare. You're like, I played South Carolina, it was sick. That was the only show that was kind of had a notably odd vibe to it. But actually, fuck it, weirder, on the Anxious tour, Kansas City, we played as a 7-piece with my friend Fake playing bass on stage, and then
playing bass.
Yeah, she was just unplugged. She like literally like was just standing there, didn't know any of the songs, doesn't know how to play bass. It was just like, fuck it, why not? Tour's almost over, let's do something funny. And then on top of that, not even halfway through the set, we switched up places. I grabbed the bass, did 2 Soul Provider songs, which is basically just KOYO switched around. Which, it got like, it was not a mosh show. Like there was like an indie band that opened it. So like it got like weird and like kind of crazy for a second. And then switch back. We go into the first track on the Painting EP, Hanging from Grace. And I let Dante, who plays in Anxious, who we're on tour with, sing the entire song. He knew more of it than I expected, but definitely not the whole thing. So there was a good 7 or so minute block of just like weird shit happening the whole show. But it was dope. That's probably the most weird one. The weirdest it got, because there were like nice photos taken and there's like nice footage of us playing Diamond One, and it's like, why are there 7 people on stage? This is fucking weird. But that was good shit. That was like a very nice tour memory. Definitely objectively weird though.
Yeah.
So that's the one.
Yeah. You had to be there to kind of like, if you experienced that KOYO set, that's a very special one to experience.
One for the books.
One for the books. That's right.
One for the fucking books for sure.
Joey, one of the last questions I have before we wrap up officially, and just correct me if I'm wrong. In the music video that you guys did, are you wearing a Pokemon shirt? Because it says nerd, and it has like the Pokeball up. I was like,
okay, so
what's going on here? I got the
Nerd record store in Japan. That's in Tokyo. I got that from Nerds when I went there with Vane. They gave us all shirt stuff, which is super nice.
I was going frame by frame, amazing. And I was like, okay, well, like I'm trying to.
No, I can see how you see that though, and I put respect on it because Pokemon's fucking dope. That's age old. That's top tier JRPG type shit. If people don't want to count it as that, it really is. Mm-hmm. If you ask me, but it was not that. It was literally just a Nerds record store shirt, and that place is fucking dope. I love Japan. It's heaven on earth. I just wanted to rep for it for the video because I think it's just sick.
No, I think it's very, very sick. And like I had on a friend, Luke, who sings for a band called First Day Out of Atlanta, and like
he booked our first Atlanta show there.
Yeah. Shout out to Luke. Shout out to First Day Out. But it was funny because he's a big Pokemon head, and I think half of our podcast was about that. And I'm like, I know that I can't do another scoped podcast that's only about Pokemon.
Yeah.
But
that's the one deep dive.
That's the one deep dive. That's right. Yeah. It's funny. Friend of the show, Lumpy from Sanction and Out for Justice, and and
friend of mine as well. For sure.
So like we have a running thing where anytime he comes on the podcast, we like spend an hour talking about coffee and just like all the little ins and outs. So like he's come on twice now. So there's like 2 hours worth of us just bullshitting about like milk alternatives and is decaf
Coffee
actually
Guy
good?
1990.
And,
Oh yeah.
Make sure you're following.
But
yeah, that's I've really enjoyed the the one-offs as far as just being able to dive in and just like take the the hardcore kids for a spin down Pokemon or Coffee Alley.
Straight up. Because
Because
similarly to what we were saying about life beyond touring and functioning in society, there's just a million fucking things that make up a person beyond hardcore too. You know, it's like
Absolutely,
for some people that may be coffee, some people that may be Pokemon. It's nice to deep dive where you can, you know, see
Absolutely.
what makes an individual tick and their other obsessions.
Yeah. What's okay now because you've brought it up, is there like a very weird or like unexpected obsession of yours that a lot of people might not know about you?
That's a good question. I feel like off the cuff, like I have an answer, but I don't think I have like a great answer just because despite, you know, repping, I'm self-aware because I think I'm a fairly self-aware person.
I agree.
Like my friends may have a better answer than I have for this, but I would say my hook, line, and sinker, like if given the means to delve, I will. It's like shitty, like fucking like teen drama television, shit like fucking Degrassi, shit like fucking Vampire Diaries, fucking Euphoria, like all that shit. You give me a show like that, I will literally make it disappear in an alarming amount of time. Like that's like my life's fucking, you know, my crux or whatever. Like I watched Vampire Diaries during fucking quarantine. That's 8 seasons of television, 45 minutes an episode, 24 episodes a season, and I watched that shit in a month. It was deplorable.
Wow.
Like shit like that, like I can just make that disappear. That's like life's work shit. So that as far as like a weird obsession for some reason, like crappy fucking drama shows, you know, are just always been my fucking bread and butter.
I've always called that like fast food TV. Like you can eat it up very
junk
quickly.
Food for the mind.
Yes, absolutely. It's like enjoyable to watch something so ridiculous, but you can't like escape it at times. Like
Dude,
this is there's
times where you're watching a show like that and like you're in like a bad season and you're like, this sucks, but you're still watching. You're still just plowing on through it. Gotta get to the end.
It's so true. This is a little bit more of a current. Do you watch Selling Sunset or know what that is?
No, not familiar.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
So it's a Netflix like reality show about these real estate identical twin brothers. Like I've watched 3 seasons and I still don't know which is which. It's like, okay, like I'm waiting for the lower third to come up.
Human.
Yeah. But the whole premise is like in like Hollywood and like very bougie like houses and all those kind of markets, but all the real estate agents are like actual supermodels. Like they're just like super beautiful, and there's just very petty drama that is happening all the time. So imagine like The Hills, but like add million upon $1 million houses and just like all this other ridiculous shit that kind of happens. So as far as like
that sounds fucking dope. That sounds great. I gotta watch that. I might, when we jump off here, that might be the first thing I do, frankly.
I'll check back with you in like 3 days and you're like, I'm fully caught up. I know exactly what's going on.
Sick. Also, I'll raise you one on that in the more reality TV front. This was a gem found in recent months via John from Bane.
Okay.
And Living Weapon. Jocelyn's Cabaret. It's a show about Jocelyn Hernandez from Love and Hip Hop. And basically she just at a very, I don't want to like give away too much, but basically many stripper type women all stay in a mansion with her, and basically they're trying to compete to dance with Jocelyn at the end of the season in her cabaret night, but there's otherwise no real format to it. There's no elimination, there's no here's your fucking rose or whatever. The girls just beat the shit out of each other and one by one peck each other off the show. It's fucking awesome. It's one of the craziest, it's like some of the most raunchy, violent, over-the-top shit. It's on Zeus Network, which is $5 a month. It's like a shot streaming service.
Wow.
Like Jocelyn's Cabaret, some of the best reality TV ever. If you're looking to just indulge in depravity, that's the shit. Jocelyn season 2. Wow. Season 2, the Atlanta season. That's where it starts. Season 3 coming out in January.
I feel like
I'm very excited.
I feel like you should get a ad read like compensation for that. Like you sold me on it. Up. It sounds pretty interesting.
I appreciate it.
I don't think Zeus is like really thinking. They need to start thinking outside the box of who they're sponsoring. Like start sponsoring Joey from KOYO to like just get on
Straight
stage and be like, yo, everyone listen to me.
Yeah, I can sell you on fucking Jocelyn's in a heartbeat, like get straight. And I don't need much. Like I take like fucking $20 a month just to pitch that to people.
Yeah,
Straight
just
up,
give
like,
me a free membership.
My Sam's at the fucking floor. Yeah.
Yeah. Use code word KOYO at checkout.
Get 10% off, classic.
Classic. Well, Joey, this has been a really, really fun chat. I want to respect your time and, give you a chance to go check out, Selling Sunset and all that other dope shit. The last question that I ask every guest here on the podcast is a favorite mosh story that they would like to end on. And that could literally be whatever is like the first thing to your head. That could be something you did, something that happened to you at I'm not sure if you have many mosh stories from KOYO shows, but maybe there's some from TYPECASTE, like whatever's first to your mind. No rules.
God, there's so many. There's so many things I probably shouldn't even I shouldn't say. My oh God. It's like my brain is just fucking rattling because this is like such a unending. Like this is all the shit my friends talk about every fucking day. It's just funny things like this. Fuck, dude. Because all the ones I'm thinking of, I shouldn't say that on a podcast. That's not appropriate.
I mean, we're an hour 23 minutes in, so it's like anyone who's like really staying tuned is like they're here for it. So I'm not going to pressure you to do anything you don't want to, but
I'll keep this one vague just because in hindsight it's like actually funny. Like there's like nothing like bad about. I don't think I'm incriminating anyone saying this or whatever. But one time, like 5 years ago, we were on tour. It was Vain Sanction and Buried Dreams, and we were somewhere in Florida, and there was a weird shitty fight, and it went outside, and we were like, it was a fight over moshing, classic. Someone smoking someone, and we were like, whoa, that was a weird, shitty fight. And we're all kind of laughing. It's like, oh, that's kind of funny. And we go outside, and the same kid involved in the fight pulled out a gun. And we were like, oh, shit, are you going to shoot us over moshing? And he did not. So that's the best thing I think that's ever happened related to moshing is it ended in, we're like, what? I mean, like, dude, like, in a fucked up way, respect if that's what it means to you.
Holy fuck. You're going to shoot us over moshing is one of the best sound bites that I think I can pull from this podcast ever.
Yeah. And, nothing bad happened. Everything ended up being fine. It wasn't even a big deal. Like, normally I wouldn't share something like that, but it was so long ago and didn't fucking matter at all. Like, dude, it meant fucking nothing. It's like literally hilarious in hindsight. But
in the moment, you're probably like, what is going on? And then looking back and like, I still can't believe that happened. But like that makes for a great story. Oh my gosh.
It's an awesome story. It's like, moshing to some people, that's fucking everything, man. Yeah. To him, that's what it was. Yeah.
It got very personal very, very quickly.
Yeah. Respect, got to do you.
Yeah,
I hope it never happens again.
Yeah, but, I'm not. We're not encouraging people to pull guns if you feel like someone did you wrong. Keep that outside of the mosh pit.
For sure. But
fist fights only.
Makes people do crazy things.
Yeah, that's
fights,
true.
Hilarious. Fighting at shows, literally hilarious. I'll be the first one to tell you that shit's funny and makes for many laughs down the line. I'm not encouraging it, but I love making jokes about fights at shows. So. You know what it is.
Well, Joey, again, this has been a really great chat. All the band links and your links will be in the YouTube description and in the show notes. But if there's anything you want to end the people off with or give some shout outs or, whatever you got, the floor is yours to officially end this podcast.
Dope. Well, obviously, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I had a great time. Love chatting. I'm all about it. Just a thank you to fucking Triple B for holding it down for KOYO, to Days and Lumpy, because the two of them just recently did a split release of Drives Out East on CD. Yeah. So that's available to both their web stores. It's like the most recent physical medium, anything we have for the band. So, if you fuck with CDs, you can get Drives Out East on CD now. Respect to LDB for also holding it down. We're going to have a third press of Painting Words 7 inches coming soon.
Very cool.
Because they've been sold out for a while, I think. And above all else, just respect and thank you to anyone who's a friend or supports any of the fucking bands and stuff, because obviously everyone says thank you and says they appreciate it, but genuinely it means a lot to me and what goes on in my life. So thank you truly and sincerely.
Yeah, like I can attest that you are a very self-aware individual and very humble and grateful individual there, Joey. And I really appreciate you,
Thank you.
taking time to come on this podcast, but just have a very fruitful and really enriching conversation for me. So again, I appreciate you. Really excited for the future of KOYO, and I hope that we get to cross paths, whether you're coming up to Canada one day or I'm catching you guys somewhere in the US or beyond. Very excited
For
to
sure.
to officially lock it in that way.
Yes, 100%. Yo, thank you for having me again, for real.